ain't no sometime. It's good to go back and put people back in remembrance of things. Peter said in Peter, he said, as long as he was in this tabernacle, he gonna put and bring things back to your remembrance. And it's good that some people will talk about the nature of God and talk about the things of God to bring people back to memory of what we need to do. And we look at these pagan days coming up, these holidays that we be involved in, which we know how far to take it. A little leaven leavens the whole lump. We got Christmas coming up. You know, the world said Christ was born on Christmas, but the Bible teaches different.
Yes.
I think when Luke was saying when Jesus was born, something that sheep herd, it was winter time, and he told them to put the sheep up all because they couldn't be out in the cold. So it's a lot of scriptures that you can go to show that. I think it was you picked that day to say he was born. He was in the beginning. Anybody bring your gift throughout the year, but God had gave us the greatest gift that we ever could receive, and that was His Son. And that's what we should be patronizing. That gift that God gave us, because we wasn't worthy of it. He gave His only Son, that through Him the world might be what? Saved. The world can't be saved no other way less than they go to Jesus. We can't be saved no other way less than we go through Christ. But let's look at Matthew chapter 18. We'll deal with a few of these scriptures. It said at the same time came who? The disciples. His disciples. Those 12 he had chosen unto Jesus, saying, who is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven? You know, some people in the church want to be greater than other folks. There's nobody greater than nobody in the church. We got this thing messed all the way up, Brother Greg. Preacher want to be up on a pellicle. Look, we ain't literally asking Jesus who is the greatest. We do our pretense of our life, the way we live, the way we act. We asking the same thing. Who is the greatest? I'm greater than this. You know, we try to, how would I want to put this? We try to lift folks up and put folks on pellicles and things of that nature, which should not be done. It's all right to encourage somebody to say, brother, you're doing a good job, you know, but don't get the big head like you the one. You know, and I think that's where folks head. They can't take the encouragement what God wants them to have. They want to make it out of something that God ain't told them to. You know, and that's wrong in our sight of God. Watch what he said. But I like the next scripture here in verse 3. Well, let me go back to verse 2. I'm going to wait till the house until they get on in here. We'll just talk a little bit. I want to stay around 1 a little bit. But this is going on in God's house. Everybody want to be up here, and the members down there. They want to walk on the members. I'm big chief. You can't say nothing. No. It shouldn't be that. You need to go back and at that same time when Jesus' disciples came. I'm glad they asked that question. Who is the greatest in the kingdom of God? Hey, Brother, at the same time, he said, who is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven? And watch what Jesus called, and Jesus called a little child unto him, and set him in the midst of them. That little child right there. That little child right there, we got to be like him. Look, that little child ain't gonna, look, that little child, he can be converted. Watch what he said. And said, verily I say unto who? Unto you. When you read that, you can put that to you. He's saying it unto me. Except you be converted. I'm in Matthew chapter 18, brother. Okay. Except you be converted. A lot of us are not converted. We converted to some things, but it ain't converted to Christ. Verily I say unto you, except you be converted and be what? You got to come like that little child right there. Ye shall not enter into the kingdom of heaven. I don't care which way you go, what you do. If you don't be converted and become as one of them little children, you ain't coming in God's kingdom. You can't get in there no other way. You got to be converted. Everybody you seen that got baptized into the church, they was converted. Who was they converted to? To Christ. We converted to a people. Some people get baptized because of the preacher. Or because you said you pattern your life and somebody following you. Don't follow me, follow Christ. Do like Paul said, we follow Christ. And y'all all follow there, we follow Christ. We need to mind the same thing, follow the same rule. This is our rule book right here to get from earth to heaven. Can't go no other way. You can go other way, but you ain't going to get there. Except you be converted as one of these little ones. You shall not enter into the kingdom of heaven. That's what he said in verse 4. Whosoever, therefore shall what? Humble himself. A lot of folks don't even want to humble themselves. They too much pride. I'm not going to humble to you. Who you supposed to be? Puffed up. Too much pride. We need to learn how to humble ourselves. Humble yourself. Whosoever therefore shall humble himself as this little child, the same is greater in the kingdom of heaven. You can be great, but you got to do be converted, and you got to become as one of them little ones, and you got to humble yourself. Some things must got to be did. But when you got all grown folk and you got all chief and no Indian, you might well leave the camp. And you can't tell nobody nothing. That's what he said in verse 5. He said, and whoso shall receive such little child in my name receiveth me. I'm glad that God's word convicts me. I'm glad I can become as one of these little children to take some correction when I need to have it. You can reprove me or instruct me with the word of God. I'm going to humble myself to it. I ain't going to fight up, man. You can't tell me this. No, I'm not going to put myself. I'm going to humble myself. I'm going to be like the little child. You can cut up, but you get he going to humble himself and what? He going to settle down. But we want to fight when we... No, we shouldn't be like that. See, we are grown people in a sense, but to God, we supposed to be his children. And he's supposed to be able to tell us what to do. How he tells us? Through his word. But if we won't listen to his word and let his word correct us, who can tell us something? But I'm glad what he said in the Hebrew letter. Said, hey, God said, I'm like a father. He said, if a father chastened his son whom he loved, and said, I chasten whom I love, and said, if he can't be chastened, then he's not sons, he are bastards. See, if God can't correct you in his word, and you don't want to listen, then you're not no son. Verse 6, he said, but whoso shall offend one of these little ones, which believeth in me, it were better. It were better for him that a millstone were hanging about his neck, and that he would drown in the depth of the sea. That's why we had to be careful how we present ourselves to folks and talk to folks and say things to people, because you can offend people real easy. Sometimes you may not know you're offending somebody. That's why you had to have choice words. Speak with our understanding. See, we shouldn't be so quick to speak, but what the Bible said, be slow to speak and quick to hear. Sometimes we answer stuff before we even hear it. Or we want to say something hard to somebody. We should be like Paul said in Galatians 6:1, you with our spirit to do what? Restore certain one in the spirit of what? Heathen. See, consider themselves. You won't consider yourself how you want somebody to talk to you, then you can find out how to talk to somebody else. Watch what he said in verse 7. He said, but woe unto the world. The people in the world, woe unto the world now. Because offensive, it must need be that offensive come. Out in the world, people gonna say some things to you, do some things, they gonna come. People in the world say a whole lot about you. They even being a Christian, they'll talk down and you supposed to be right, you saying this, you just won't criticize you. But some of that offended some members of the church, how folk treat them. They'll come back, this friend out here talked about me so bad, I went to crying. You know, well, it must be sometime. Why is this? He said, but woe to that man by whom the offense comes. See, God, it's a thing of reaping and sowing. Watch what you do, because what you do to others, it'll come back on you. You ain't going to get by and it don't come back to you. Watch what he said in verse 8. Wherefore, if the hand of their foot offend thee, cut them off. A lot of folks literally think God talking about cut your hand off. No, he man, cut some sin out of your life. Stop doing it. If something causing you to do something, you know that problem is when we find out we got a sore or something on our body, a bump, or either mosquito bite you, you're going to go where that little mosquito bit you and tend to that little bump or whatever he bit you and try to either get rid of it because why? It's bothering you. Well, sin should bother us like that. Get rid of it. And cast them from thee. It is better for thee to enter into the life half of a man rather than having 2 hands or 2 feet to be cast into everlasting fire. And if thine eye offend thee, pluck it out and cast it from thee. It's better for thee to enter into life with 1 eye rather than having 2 eyes to be cast into hell. I'm glad Jesus used some things that we are familiar with. You got people have a problem with their eye. Where you go? You don't go to a heart doctor. You go to an eye doctor. Why are you going to the eye? My eye bothers me. My heart ain't bothering me. I'm going to the eye doctor. You're going to want that doctor to do something about that eye because it bothers me. Whatever you got to do to keep it from bothering me, get rid of it. That way we should feel about sin when sin and if I'm lying, it all bothers you so bad you all want to quit lying. If you got an attitude, it all bothers you so bad, get rid of it. I mean, anything that will conflict you between you and Christ, you need to get rid of it. But now we have to watch out about our heart. Now we got a heart that's sealed. It ain't going to bother you because you feel like you ain't doing nothing wrong. What I'm doing right, I ain't doing nothing wrong. Doing God, but you won't get rid of that mess you got. Why is it? Verse 10, take heed that ye despise not one of these little ones. We should take heed that we got hatred in our hearts. There's a lot of hatred in the body of Christ. There's a lot of hatred. There's more hate in us than almost in the world. We try to put each other down, say things about each other, despise each other. That means when you despise them, man, you hate them. And we shouldn't hate them. But John said something back there. How can you love God whom you hadn't seen? Here goes your brother walk around every day and you hate him. You don't love him. How can you love somebody you ain't never seen? But here we are among each other and we hate each other. That don't make sense. I'm loving somebody I ain't never seen, but I see you and I hate you. That means I despise God when I despise you. We don't do it to each other first. We did it to God before we do it to each other. For I say unto you that in heaven the angels do always behold the face of my Father which is in heaven. Verse 11 said, for the Son of Man is come to do what? Save that which were lost. That's his purpose, to save them that were lost. That should be our purpose, trying to save them that are lost. But we so lost we can't save ourselves. So we don't want to do right. we in a safe place, but are we really saved? Can I say I'm really saved? Can I really just determine that I'm saved? If you saved, why you not saving others? Why we bickering and fighting among each other and dividing and biting each other? If I'm really saved, why I'm doing what I'm doing? If I'm saved, I should be going, restoring my brother now in the spirit of meeting them. I should be doing those kind of things because God requires us to do that. He ain't just get you to set you up on a shelf and just look at you. You got to do something. He said, how think ye if a man have 100 sheep and one of them be gone astray? Do he not leave the 99 and goeth into a mountain and seeketh that which is gone astray? You know, if we lose something in the house, we'll forget everything else and try to find it. Am I right or wrong? We'll tear some stuff looking for one something. But how come we won't tear it up when one of the members leave the church or something and go find them and try to bring them back? Yes. The other stuff all right in the house. We need to go out there and get that over when they left and bring them back. Why is that not important to us? Watch what verse 13 says. And if so be that he find it, if so that it be you find something you done lost, guess what coming behind? You're going to be there as happy as you can. You're going to rejoice. Why? Because you done found it. Wouldn't that person be happy if we get him back in the church? I ain't to rejoice over one sinner that needed not, the 99 needed not. Why can't we rejoice when one come back in the fold? If it's so that he find it, verily I say unto you, he rejoiceth more of that sheep than of the 99 with not astray. Even so, watch this. Watch whether not one of God's will. Even so, it is not the will of your Father, which is in heaven, that one of these little ones should perish. They're not in God's will. Why shouldn't it be in our will that we should be caring enough about each other and go get them and not them to perish in their sin? It's not in his will. Shouldn't his will be our will? Who business we about? Our Father business or our business? But we mostly put our business before we put God. If a Sunday comes, we'll dress up. We'll suit up. Coming up with a leg cross, we holy than holy than Jesus. We holy than him, been the biggest hypocrite all the week. Ain't went and did nothing God told us to do. But I'm saved when I come to worship on Sunday. When I went worship, did you really worship? Was your heart pure? Why did Jesus say when you take the communion, he said make sure you take it with a clean heart and a pure mind, a pure hand, a clean heart. How come you ain't, is everything pure and clean? You done did all the week. See, sometimes we can take that communion and be in fault. You had to examine yourself. Watch what he said in verse 15. Now, there's a big problem in the church. Verse 15, that's a big problem. That's next to love. Watch what he said. Moreover, if their brother shall trespass against who? Against thee, meaning you. Go and tell him his fault between thee and him alone. But you know what people have been taught in the church? Well, you know, when somebody do something, you go tell somebody, go tell your leaders or tell somebody else. No, Jesus said you go to him and go to him alone. Mm-hmm. But that holler demonstrated in the church. Who can say that's been demonstrated in the church? I told him I've been in church almost 30 years and I ain't seen it demonstrated. That you going to your brother alone and straighten it out, and then if he didn't do it, you go get one or two more witnesses in the mouth, or 2 or 3 witnesses, let every word be established. Then if you don't hear them, then you bring them to the church. I ain't seen none of that. We don't practice this. We'll talk it, but we won't practice. Mm-hmm. Man.
Well, why do you think we don't practice?
You know that's the answer you had to ask yourself. I can't answer for nobody else. But if I got a problem with somebody, I'm at least attempt to go and talk to them. If I did wrong, if I can win them back, I'll take the wrong. Bro, I'm wrong. If I did something to you and I'm wrong, man, hey, I'm sorry. It don't hurt to say you sorry. It don't hurt to say, brother, I'm sorry. But a lot of folk and left folk because of hatred and mad. Ain't did nothing what God told them to do. Well, you know, you just wait till somebody, they don't want to listen. He didn't say if he didn't want to listen. He told you go to him. See, God still requires you to do something. It don't make no difference if the other person don't respond, but what he told you to do. What he told you to do. That's what you got to put in here. I don't care why the other person responds. I'm going to do what God told me to do something. What he tell me to do? What verse 15 said? He said, moreover, if their brother shall trespass against me, go and tell him. That's something God looking for me to do. If I don't never do it, it never gets straightened up the way God. If we might walk around and say, it ain't straight. You ain't did what God told you to do. Only time stuff gets situated or straightened out is when we do it exactly the way God tells us to do it. That's why we got a lot of problems in the church. Because we won't do what God simply tells us to do. Am I right, Brother Jonathan?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, you're right. You know, that's something wrong with us today. We done got out of the Bible.
We all way out of it.
Yeah. What the Bible means what it said.
Exactly.
But we don't, they don't got out of it. They are adding to the Bible.
I done have people to tell me, man, you shouldn't say everybody, because everybody ain't doing. I said, man, when this Bible talked to Jesus went here, he wouldn't set some of y'all apart. Y'all ain't did no sin. I'm going to set you over there. Y'all that sin, I'm talking to one of the sinners. No, this for everybody. But I know that if I'm doing it, I have no problem with a man get up and talk about God's word about. Because it's going to encourage me some more. Go ahead, Greg.
Have you ever seen, in your years, a church withdraw from somebody?
Nope, but I heard it. But I don't read it in the Bible.
Huh?
I don't read it in the Bible, but they'll go back to the Old Testament where God separated. That's what God doing. But God ain't told you, look, God told you let the wheat and tare grow together. He would do the separating. That's what I read. You got to stay around some stuff. You got to put, but look, man, now God told us when a brother walked disorder, you get waiting around him, but you don't treat him as the enemy. He told us how to do some things when the brother don't walk circumspectly, he teaching stuff, or fornicating, or doing stuff like that. He tell you don't keep coming with it. But a lot of us hang with them folk, and we know they doing it. Yeah, we hang with them. It can be your own children, you know they fornicating. You hang with them. But the Bible says if you know a brother to be one, don't keep coming. Don't even eat with him. But see how so easy it is to do things what God told you not to do? And we try to justify it. A lot of folks try to justify this verse 15 in here. Well, they won't listen. He told you to go to him. You do what you supposed to do, and if he don't listen to you, you go get some more folk. Don't go get your hey buddy, don't go lie for you. Get somebody that's honest and truthful. Because the Old Testament talked about when they brought up something against somebody, if they didn't have a witness, you better left it alone. You end up dead. But then they'll tell us what to do. Watch what he said in verse 6. Well, let me finish reading it. Go and tell him his fault between thee and him alone. If he cussing you or lying on you, there's a fault. Tell him what he doing to you. Don't say, you know what you did. I don't know what I done. Tell me my fault. I probably did a lot of things to you. I don't tell me my fault. Watch what he said. If he shall hear thee, what you done did? You done gained your brother. God said you have gained your brother. Ain't that good in the sight of God? You done gained your brother. But watch what he said in verse 16. But if he will not hear thee, then you got another opposition you got to do. Take with thee one or two more, that in the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, every word may be established. Whatever we done talked to and discussed with this brother, I got some folk hearing what I'm saying, so can't nobody lie on nobody. Watch this. And if he shall neglect to hear them, if he won't hear them other brothers, tell it to the church. You need to let the church know what we got here. We got a brother here, don't want to listen to nobody. But why is it him? But if he neglect the church, to hear the church, let him be unto thee as a heathen man and a publican. But you know, you can have those type of folk. That's why you got a problem in the church, because they ain't did what God told them to do.
That's right.
But God gonna treat him as a heathen and a publican, because he ain't did right. That's why you got so much mess in the church. God not happy with it. But we act like nothing going on. What you say again?
Now I was telling him something.
Now I was asking again what he was saying. I want to hear what he was saying. Because it might be helpful to everybody. That's why I asked you what you were saying.
In terms of withdrawal, you look at, well, Second Thessalonians 3, I think it's 3 and 6. And then you look at the situation in 1 Corinthians, where the guy had his father's wife. They withdrew from him. Because if you read that, and then you go to 2 Corinthians chapter 2, and then Paul tells them to receive him back and forgive him after they are withdrawn from him. And in 2 Thessalonians 3:6, it talks about withdrawal. So the church does have a right to withdraw from a member that walks disorderly.
Exactly. And I think when I said that, I said, if he's a fornicator, you got to tell Salon, talk about if any man obey not these epistles. Know him.
Right.
They ain't telling him if he don't obey what? It's him. These epistles. If he don't want to do it, God said, hey, you don't treat him as an enemy, but you are among him as a brother, but don't keep no company with him. Let's see what it's talking about. Then he talked about in Corinth about the young boy wanted his dad. They were, because he was doing some things that even the world don't do what you doing. Hey, we got to leave him alone. He messing up. That's fornicating. God talks about a fornicator. If you know a man, any brother, be a fornicator, don't keep no, that's a withdrawal. Don't keep no company with it. Watch what he said. Verily I say unto you, whatsoever ye shall bind on earth shall be bound in heaven. And whatsoever ye shall loose on earth shall be loose in heaven. God is telling his disciples about it. Whatever you bind on earth and God with it, going to be bound in heaven. Remember when he talked about the kingdom? When he told Peter upon this rock and he gave him keys, whatever it bound here, going to be bound in heaven. You can't get in the church no other way. Cause why? It's bound in heaven. It's bound on earth. You got other folk want to come in, but it's been bound by God. And God gave them the authority to do the privilege and authority to set things that it would be bounded by his law. Watch what he said. And this not actually true right here. Everything in him true. Watch what he said, verse 19. Again, I say unto you, that if two of you shall agree on earth and touch anything that they shall ask, it shall be done for them of whom my Father which is in heaven. That's a true statement, because me and my wife done practiced this, you know. Yeah, we was in some desperate need, and we got on our knees together and prayed for that thing. Guess what? God shook a window, it fell out. Yeah, I'm saying what God would do. And what prayer would do if you agree on a husband and wife agree on something, and they honest and they pray for it, God will deliver. Because he's a God that cannot do lie. He's not going to lie. Why is it him? He said, for where 2 or 3 are gathered together in my name, there I am in the midst of them. Now, if you got some stuff in your life and cause you there around 2 or 3 more brothers, and God ain't worth no sin there. You can't put in what's sin there. Ain't no kind of way you can put in what's sin there. Sin is like a vampire with a cross there, and he can't stand it. God cannot stand sin. Why? Because he's holy. He's holy. We are supposed to be holy people. Am I right? Yes. But we stand all kind of sins on. So I'm still in us real bad. Watch this. Verse 21. Then came Peter to him and said, Lord, how shall my brother sin against me, and I forgive him till seven times? Jesus said unto him, I said not unto thee. Jesus tell you the same thing. I said not unto you until 7 times, but until 70 times 7. The folks try to say, well, do I count 70 times then quit forgiving? No. You keep forgiving them, brother. You got a job. God requires you to forgive him. I don't care how many times a day he turns to you. Forgive him. Yeah. God requires you to do it. And that's something else wrong with us. We some unforgiving folk. We partial in who we forgive. You ain't gonna get to heaven with that unforgiving heart. Ain't no way you can get there. I mean, if some folk can get there, I know it ought not be a problem for Berkeley to get to heaven.
But does he have to repent first?
You have to repent. A lot of us don't have a repentant heart. God, Lasara don't lead some folk to repent. They don't get mad about it. I'm going to tell you something, man. When I think about Jesus, how the Isaiah chapter 53 said, that boy asked the question, he said, Lord, who shall believe our report? And who are the arms of the Lord revealed unto him? How this man came and died for something I wasn't worth it. But he died. He took my sins and my iniquity and put them up on his shoulders. He didn't have to do it. And I got the audacity to walk around here and act the way I'm acting and do what I do and don't. I'm spitting in his face. I ain't no better no folk in the hall of Pilate doing it. I'm slapping him and spitting on him. Don't you know you can hurt Jesus? We can put him right back on the cross. The Hebrew letter, chapter 10, talk about when we sin willfully, we put him in open shame, put him right back where he was from our foolishness. But we need to learn. I mean, if you just read Isaiah 53, it ought to put some goosebump chills and make you want to cry because of what this man said. He have no form of beauty in him. You don't even have a desire for him. Said, men not despise them and reject him. Folks are still rejecting Jesus. But you know what he said in John 8:44, I believe, either John 12:44, he said, he that rejected me and received not my word had one to judge him. Them same words I done spoken. Well, them same words I done spoken gonna judge you in the last day. It don't matter if you reject him because he gonna put it right back to you. Them same words you read and you done heard, I'm gonna judge you with them same words out of this book. Watch what he said. Therefore is the kingdom of heaven likened unto a certain king which would take of his servant. He reversed it now, talking about his kingdom. He said, and when he had begun to reckon, one was brought unto him which owed him 10,000 talents. Some of us fall into this category where we finna read that folk owe you something and we want to kill them about it. But when you owe somebody something, you want to be patient with you. Watch what he said. And when he had begun to reckon, one was brought unto him which owed him 10,000 talents. But for as much as he had not to pay, didn't have nothing to pay, his Lord commanded him to be sold, and his wife and children, and all that he had, and payment to be made. How would you feel if somebody go tell you, I'm going to sell you, your wife, your children, and everything you got? Cause when we said you're gonna be separated, you ain't gonna see her and them children no more. Cause they gonna be sold out to different folk. All they had just to pay me. But watch this hunt. This hunt show us the love, the unconditional that God give us when we plead to God and ask God for things. That's why we should be merciful people. Why did he say? He said, the servant therefore fell down and worshiped him, saying, Lord, have patience with me. Ain't that one of our Christian duty, patience? Ain't patient in there. Ain't patient in there what Peter said? Add to our faith and all this patience and temperance and all this. Ain't that one of them? Yeah, that's one of them. We should have that in us. Have patience with me, and I will pay thee off. Then the Lord of their servant will move with what? Compassion. We should be those kind of people that move with compassion. When somebody's asking us to plead toward them or forgive us for a situation, we should be moved with compassion. But yet we be moved with bitter and anger and too mad to even say, man, I forgive you. We still hug you and say, man, we brothers in Christ. But now I don't want to have nothing to do with you. I don't fool with him. No matter fool, man. How can you get to heaven and don't want to fool with your brother and sister? You're going to get to heaven with that attitude, man. Anybody can go there. He said, then the Lord of that servant will move with compassion and loosed him and did what? And forgave him his debt. Forgave him what he owned. I mean, the man fell down and worshiped him, pleading with him, have patience with me. I'll pay all of it, but the man said, I'm going to take your family, I'm going to take you, your children, I'm going to take all you got, I'm going to sell you. But see, there's some things that we got to do in order for God to move for us. Why he said, but the same servant went out and found one of his fellow servants. After this, God had compassion and had love for this man to forgive him for everything he owed. Now he finna go out and watch what he demonstrated. He forgot. See how quick we can forget things? We can forget what we want to forget, can't we? Yeah, we can forget. Somebody forgave you, but you ain't gonna forgive nobody else. You forgot somebody. God forgave you. That's enough forgiving for you to forgive everything in your life. Why would he say? But the same servant went out and found one of his fellow servants, which owed him 100 pennies. Just look at the difference in the money that were owed. Now he owed him 100, but up here this man owed a whole lot. Yeah, 10,000. Why did that? And he put his hands on him and took him by the throat, saying, "Pay me that you owe me," demanding his money. Now, supposing that his servant would have did him when I sold his folks and put his hand on his throat. Now you pay me what you owe me. And he fell, and his fellow servant fell down at his feet. He did the same thing he did, fell down and besought him, begged him, saying, "Have patience with me," asking the same thing he just got through at, and I will pay thee off. Almost the same conversation he just had, saying, "I'll have patience with me, I'll pay you all of it." Fell down like he did in worship, and he would not. He would not. But went and cast him into prison till he should pay the debt. Now you're going to put the man in prison. How in the world you going to get paid and he locked up? Then the government going to give some little money. This man locked up. You going to put him in prison. How you going to pay? He ain't working. You going to get your money out of him doing time. That's kind of crazy. I ain't gonna pay your money, man. Ain't work, man. You gonna pay me with some time. I'm gonna take some of your part out of your life. So when his fellow servants saw what was done, they were very sorry. See, when we see what somebody do to somebody, and you done been kind and polite and did your part of forgiving, and they do you wrong, yeah, that all grieves you. Y'all be feeling bad. They doing that man like that, he just forgave them for something they did to him. you'll be sorry. Wife and came and told unto their Lord all that was done. Then his Lord, after that he had called him, said unto him, O thou wicked servant, I forgave thee all that their debt because their desires me. God gave us our debt when he gave his son. We had a debt we couldn't pay and Jesus paid it for us. Why can't we pay him back? Only thing he asks us to live faithful unto death. Am I right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
His commandment not grieving. Why we walk around with attitude? I don't know too much about Beyonce, but they don't have them kind of attitude. They get along with their movie star friends. When they have their bickering stuff, they don't keep it for a year. They soon get back together because they in the same business. We in the same business. We on a team. We can't work on this team together. Nobody here gonna do nothing different to get to heaven. We all got to do the same thing.
That's right.
Show me somebody here got to do something different to get to heaven.
No, ain't no shortcut.
Ain't no shortcut, ain't no undercut. We got to do the same thing.
That's right.
Should it not also have had compassion on their fellow servant, even as I had pity on thee? That should touch us, who are Christians, should touch us, to even to make us do even better. If we ain't been doing better, we all try to do better. And his Lord was woke and delivered. He was mad. I done forgave you. You got me upset. I done forgave you. Now here you done turn around and did the opposite of what I did for you. Why couldn't you did the same thing? Why couldn't you have compassion on him and have pity and mercy toward him? I had it towards you. And his Lord was woke and delivered him to the tormentor till he should pay all that was due unto him. Watch this him. God ain't leave us out here. Watch what he said. So likewise. What likewise mean? There ain't no difference. Shall my heavenly Father do also unto who? Unto you. If you from your heart forgive not every one of his brother their trespass. It's something to think about. You need to put that on a piece of paper and write it down and look at it. God gonna do the same thing to you. His Father gonna do the same thing to you. If you don't forgive your brother, there ain't no need of pleading, talking about, If you did something years ago, you need to go do it and straighten it up. Because guess what? That sin is still there. Let me show you something in Matthew chapter 5, and then we on. I don't know how much time I got, but why for Matthew chapter 5? We'll start at verse 23 and go to verse 25. I read the verse 26. It says, therefore, if they'll bring their gift to the altar, a lot of folks give their offering every Sunday, bringing anything money gonna please God. Therefore, if they'll bring their gift to the altar, and watch what he said, and they'll remember, you remember now, not the person, but you remember that their brother had an ought against you, against thee. Now, if you remember that somebody got something against you, you bring the gift and you'll leave it there. Watch what he said in verse 24. Leave their gift before the altar. You leave it there. And go their way or go your way first to be what? Reconciled to who? Their brother. And then come and offer their gift. But we offer the gift and don't go and reconcile with the brother or the sister. We leave that alone. But I didn't worship. I did the 5 things that God. But did you remember that your brother had all with? Did you go back to him and be reconciled with him? Watch what he said. Agree with thy adversary what? Quickly. Some folks let folks die and they never straighten nothing up with them. Because see, today or the next minute ain't promised to us. That's why he said go agree with their adversary quickly. Watch what he said. While they are in what? The way with him, with you. Lest at any time the adversary deliver thee to the judge, and the judge deliver thee to the officer, and they'll be cast into prison. If you don't, who is that officer? That God. We need to get on our feet running, trying to straighten stuff up with folks. I don't care what happens. Somebody ought to have enough sense. I'm going to go straighten up just on my part that I done did what God told me to do. But yet, I'm going to tell you something else. We didn't have churches to split. People got upset with each other. Nobody ain't straightened up nothing. We just there, we went our own way. But that problem is still there. That problem is still there.
I agree.
That problem is still there, whether we want the truth or not. But that problem is still there. It's still before God. But we going on like nothing ever happened. But have you went back and agreed with your adversary? Have you reconciled back with your brother? Oh, can we laugh? Can we get together and talk and go break bread together? Are we like that? We not close like that no more. I don't have nothing to do with it. How you going to get to heaven with that attitude? See, we let the devil do a whole lot to us. Get you to thinking you all right, but you in trouble with God.
The devil control you.
Yes, sir. We in trouble. We got to wake up. The Bible said, wake up out of your sleep. He ain't talking about not wake up out of your sins and get rid of them.
That's right.
Time ain't gonna always be with us. So my question is to us, what we gonna do about it? Are we gonna remain like we are? Are we gonna keep going through life and say, well, God, I didn't ask God to forgive me? Yeah, true, yeah, you did, God, but did you do the other part? Moses, look what God told Moses and Aaron what to do when he told him. He did the first part right when he told him to speak to the rock. He told him the hitter, he struck the water, but sometimes he told him to speak to it. But see, the attitude of what you can have mess you up. God, he struck it. God still let water came out of it. But on down the line through his life, you read about him and Aaron. God told him, said, now look, it came a time that God said, look, you take Moses and Aaron, y'all go up in that mountain and take Eleazar, his son, up there with him. And Aaron ain't coming back. He gonna die there. And God told him what you had did. He said, y'all could have glorified me before the people, but you didn't. Why? Because of unbelief. He said, because of this, you're not going in the land. He's going to die. Aaron died. 3 more years or how many months it was. He told Moses, time for you to go out the picture. Told Moses the same thing. Now, I'm going to let you look over here and see all of this land, what you could have had. But you didn't glorify me. We have chances to glorify God with people testifying with God, how good God in my life and what God did to me. But you hear the world talking about he's good, I'm blessed and never distressed. We walk around here like we mad, been chewing on bricks. Well, we supposed to be the happy and the rejoice for people walking around happy, but yet we walk around mad. We mad at the world. The world ain't did nothing to you. You need to be helping the world. The world is one in trouble. But we put ourselves in trouble the way we act. God has been good to every last one of us. He can stop being good to us too, just as well as he can be good to us. It's gonna stop one day. It got a time and a day and a place that's gonna happen with me and everybody else. But the thing is, I don't know when, I don't know where, and I don't know how. But I know it's gonna happen. I ain't gonna be that naive and be crazy. Well, it is what it is. It's gonna be what it is. See, I don't want to have one of them dumbfound mind it talking crazy and acting stupid. It is what it is. Well, whatever happened, just happened. Yeah, it's gonna happen. But you don't want something to happen to you. I don't want to end up going to hell. I don't want that to happen. No, I don't mind about dying. I know that's gonna happen, but I don't want to go to hell. But there's a destination for all of us. The thing is, do we know our destination for sure? See, God, like God gave Moses and them a glimpse of heaven. Guess what he done did to us? He done gave us a glimpse of heaven. They'll read in Revelation how he said like the street of gold, the wall like jasper, and all of this stuff. You don't need the sun no more cause he is the light. Oh, he gave us the tree of life, and therefore if you cry, wipe the tears away. He gave us a glimpse of it. But some others acting like them folk. Do we really want to go to heaven? Why we act like we act being there we want to go to heaven? All of us should be living like this is our last day on this earth where we don't know if it is or not. Somebody gonna go home, go to bed tonight, and ain't gonna wake up tomorrow. It could be one of us. I say I'm supposed to work on some folk cars. I'm supposed to do it, but I don't know if I'm gonna be here. Everybody said, well, a lot of people that live where he's supposed to be coming home. He sounded good the other day, but he dead as a doorknob today. Hey man, we got look. We got to understand that God's word is serious and it means what it said. He said what he means. People done got the audacity to say the King James Bible ain't no good translation. I got one question. When did it go bad? It saved people way back then that still got power in it that'll make you get mad. If you distribute this the way it's supposed to be and tell folk what they doing, folk get mad. I don't care if they in the church, they'll want to kill you. Why? Because they telling the truth. Did Judah kill Jesus? Cause the truth. They wanted to kill Paul. They did kill him. They killed. Look what they did to Isaiah. Put him in a tree and sawed him in half. That meant, amen, them folk died. Jesus said, you're going to be hated. Why? Because they hate me. We got a long way to go in a short time to get there, Sister John. Hell ain't going nowhere. Heaven ain't going nowhere. God's in place him where he wants him. Only person going to go is us. We're gonna go to one of those places. Just like he asked, Elijah asked the folk over in King, he said, choose you today. Who you gonna serve? Is it gonna be God or Baal? Said the folk turned and didn't answer the question, so they let me know who they chose. A lot of others turned out, even Paul said some had already turned aside after the working of Satan. A lot of folk working for Satan, even in the church. Working for the devil. And then till you try to take up for the devil, well, you know, he can't do nothing to you. Man, who are you to keep the devil from you? God is the only one keep evil from you. And how we keep the devil from us, this one got to stay in him. It got to. Let me ask everybody a question. Is God's word in your mind every minute, every hour, every second of your life? If it is, why you get mad at something? Why you get attitude at something? Well, Jesus got mad. Jesus had reason to get mad because folk was doing wrong. Look, he said if you love God, y'all hate evil. If you mad at something, y'all be mad at evil. God hate evil. And that's what we should hate, but we hate each other. But y'all been a good audience. I hope something been said that will make us think. I just want to try to go to heaven. I always do like the little kids used to pray a long time ago. Lord, you lay me down to rest. I pray that my soul will keep. I don't want to lose my soul. That's the only thing I got. Is my soul. Jesus said if a man lose his soul, what can he give in exchange for? God gave us something to possess our soul. God knows I don't want to lose my soul. I want to thank y'all. That kind of make my mama want to cry because I ain't never owned nothing in my life, but I own my soul. And I don't want to lose it. But you can't lose it just like you can lose the woman lost the corn in the house. You can lose and sweep. She swept till she found it. How many of us sweeping things out of our life to clean our life up? We should be just like that woman sweeping every day, sweeping the trash out. But yet we let the trash lay there. That's why Jesus said before you can tell your brother anything, you first get the beam out of your eye, and then you tell your brother. Why we can't tell a lot of folk how we got a lot of trash in our eye. And out of the whole day when you die, all your righteousness, like God said in Isaiah, all our righteousness like a filthy rag. drop in a bucket. When we get through, we all unprofitable serving unto God. But by the grace of God, through faith, we can be saved. That's why I love Jesus, because through grace and through faith. Yeah, Moses had the law, but truth and grace came by Jesus Christ. We got something to be thankful for. Always.